Madden holiday is here and we will play all night. Calling sick and sound sincere, in tackles will delight. The fridge is packed with drink and meat, the taste of victory sure is sweet.
So last week was a little rough. I mean, not really in terms of my picks or anything like that. I went 5-1. That's pretty good. But I was just so exhausted. I spent like 90% of the week just yawning. I could barely keep my eyes open shooting the on-camera parts for the Doomsday Clock review. If you watch that, you notice like I'm just blinking incessantly through it, trying to keep my eyes open. In fact, pretty much right when I finished shooting those, I slept like nobody's business. Like overslept on Saturday. I was gonna do Batman Day at my LCS. I couldn't do that. Missed a lot of the college football games because I was just sleeping on and off throughout Saturday. So yeah, like I kind of missed a lot, but obviously I've been able, you can catch up on stuff like that, so it's not too terrible that you missed it. But yeah, still, I was just tired. I'm feeling a lot better now that I've actually gotten some sleep, so at least I have that going for me. Back to the gridiron action, I managed to hit on all my college picks, which were all proven to be blowouts. Even Tulane and Ole Miss, a game I thought was going to be close. And the fact that Ole Miss dominated that game has made Memphis now usurp Tulane as the Group of Five darling for the college football playoff. Memphis won a big game over Arkansas this past weekend. The Air Force Boise State game was close throughout most until about partway through the third quarter, and then the Broncos just pulled away and won that one rather handily. And also the Apple Cup happened. In terms of the national college football picture, Clemson lost to Syracuse, which basically means their college football playoff chances are pretty much dead. Florida had the same thing happen to them as they got blown out by Miami. And probably the big surprise is that Indiana absolutely obliterated Illinois. This kind of proves that last season with the Hoosiers was not a joke, and now has put a huge dent into the Illini's college football playoff chances. Also, Oklahoma State had a stunning loss to Tulsa. It's the first time they've lost to the Golden Hurricane in Stillwater since the 1950s. So, yeah, basically somewhere around 70 to 75 years. All of that has resulted in the Cowboys firing longtime head coach Mike Gundy. There's been a lot of rumors as to who's going to be replacing him. The preeminent favorite is an offensive coordinator for the Falcons. He was a quarterback there. I almost said Zach Taylor, but that's the coach of the Bengals. I don't think it's him. Zach Brown. It's a Zach something. I can't remember it now. But there's also another candidate who seems to have popped up, or at least ESPN briefly reported it, and it might have an effect on a game we're covering today, so I'll try to get to it when we get there. The only other games of interest, I say, really caught my attention, because again, I was kind of sleeping throughout Saturday, were UNLV and Miami of Ohio, and of course Auburn and Oklahoma. The former was a surprisingly close game that came down to the last minute. The Red Hawks put up a good fight, but ultimately were beaten by the Rebels on a late field goal. And I only bring that up because this is the game that wound up filling in for Clemson and Syracuse, who were in a massively long rain delay that went like 2 hours or something. It was a bad thunder and lightning in the area. And the Auburn-Oklahoma game was dominated by some very poor officiating. I guess there were a lot of bad penalties called. I've tried to look up exactly what it was, but I just haven't been able to really find it. Again, kind of the problem with when you're sleeping most of the time. I tried my best to stay awake, but I just couldn't quite do that. My NFL slate contained my one miss, and boy was it a doozy as the Packers blew a 10-point lead in the last 3 minutes of the game, thanks mainly to an interception that was returned inside the 5-yard line, a blocked field goal, and then a game-winning field goal from the Browns. The Packers' running game looked absolutely dead in that thing, and the passing game did not fare that much better. So, yeah, maybe it's because the Browns' defense is really good, and hopefully they can get a bit of a breather with the Packers coming up next week, but who knows. As for the other two, Las Vegas and Washington and New Orleans and Seattle, well, they were pretty much both blowouts. Obviously, I didn't know that Jalen Daniels was injured, and so he wasn't going to be playing for Washington. So, yeah, I guess I made a bit of a boo-boo there. But overall, it didn't really matter much. But the only other noteworthy thing is, of course, Dan Quinn almost getting trampled by Marcus Mariota on the sideline. Also, I guess overall, we had possibly the most amount of blocked field goals I've ever seen in a weekend. I mean, when I was a big watcher of college football, no, not college football, high school football, it happened a lot there, but, that's kind of high school. You're not, a honed professional yet, so it doesn't really happen that much in the pros. Obviously, it helped the Eagles rally to a victory over the Rams, and it almost cost the Bucs a chance until they kicked their own last-second field goal. Also, the Vikings managed to blow out the Bengals, meaning that Deathmate will be held at bay, for now. The Patriots were done in by constant turnovers against the Steelers, and the Bears blew out the Dallas Cowboys. The Sunday night game saw the Chiefs take on the Giants in a game that reminded you how much the NFL secretly hates you. And the Detroit Lions managed to pull off a rather surprising victory in Baltimore over the Ravens. However, I think the big thing is two injuries that are going to dominate things, as Nick Bosa and Najee Harris are now out for the season. College-wise, John Mateer, the Oklahoma quarterback, is out for a month with a broken hand. Sadly, this is kind of par for the course this time of year. It does seem like a lot of the big injuries tend to happen very early on in the season. Anyway, this week's games are Rice taking on Navy, Oregon taking on Penn State, and Louisville facing Pitt. Then on the NFL side, we have Indianapolis taking on the LA Rams, Jacksonville taking on San Francisco, and Cincinnati taking on Denver. Alright, we'll start covering them after the break.
Hey, get a load of this. They put a radio in Steve Young's helmet. Who they think is playing quarterback? Buck Rogers? What are you going to tell a guy like Young he doesn't already know? Hey, Steve, you know that ball you're running around with? Well, toss it to Rice, for Pete's sake. Next thing, some knucklehead will want to hang an applause sign in the end zone to let the crowd know when to cheer.
He never complains. He never says he's in pain. He says, I can handle it. But there are times when you can't handle it. When the pain lasts longer than the Tylenol. When you've tried the Advil. When aspirin upsets your stomach. That's when you say, hey, there's nothing I can do. And see what your doctor recommends.
Introducing Aleve, a non-prescription strength of Anaprox, a fast-acting form of the medicine in naproxen, the #1 selling brand in its class for 10 years. Only Aleve has 8 to 12-hour dosing. It lasts longer than extra-strength Tylenol. Advil isn't stronger. Yet Aleve is gentler to your stomach lining than aspirin. New Aleve.
There's nothing I wouldn't do for him.
New Aleve. All day strong, all day long.
They are about to enter a new frontier. Every move a step closer to adventure. And nothing will stop this wild bunch, guided by saints, hounded by bears, stalked by Vikings, rocked by the strangest giants you'll ever see. And when it comes time to stand and deliver, you'll want these hombres by your side. Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Millen, Ron Pitts, Jerry Glanville, Anthony Munoz, and starring Pat Summerall and John Madden.
There is no way they're going to get me to dress like this.
Lighten up, partner. It's Fox.
The NFL on Fox. Same game, new attitude. Sundays this fall.
We start things off with some American Conference action on the plate as Rice prepares to take on Navy. Rice is a rather perplexing program. They're a private school right in the middle of a recruiting hotbed in Houston, The stadium is basically falling apart and is under reconstruction. I believe the UFL's Houston Roughnecks played there this past season, and that was because the stadium for the University of Houston was also under reconstruction. So yeah, like I said, recruiting hotbed that doesn't seem to exactly take care of its playing facilities. Now the Owls are 3-1 to start the season, with their only loss being to crosstown rival Houston, and they've won over the likes of Louisiana, Prairie View A&M, and Charlotte. Their offense is pretty high-powered, with a nice running attack with a 1-2 punch of Quentin Jackson and Rayon Butler. That being said, they do run a spread option offense with a nice passing game too, with quarterback Drew DeVilliers. Although admittedly they have yet to really be tested, as their only real test has been Houston, whom they lost to. Now, of course, the midshipmen do represent the biggest test for the Owls since that Week 1 game against Houston. Navy is undefeated this season and still carrying a lot of momentum from a massive bull win over Oklahoma, where they had a big comeback for the victory. They, of course, run the flexbone option offense with quarterback Blake Horvath and running backs Eli Heidenreich and Brandon Chapman. It's a nice three-pronged attack that definitely can put up a lot of numbers rather quickly. Rice won last year's game, but that was in Houston. This game is in Annapolis, and Navy has been playing inspired football right now. Like I said, they've got a lot of momentum. They've got a lot of passion. I kind of like the midshipmen in this one. It'll be close, but yeah, Navy will win this.
Good day from the Great White North. Like all great adventurers, me and my brother can communicate with wildlife, eh? Every animal has their own distinct language. Listen to the doleful cry of the Canadian loon.
Come up to Canada! Come up to Molson! Molson Golden!
Tell him you just want to be friends, eh?
Low-fat food at Boston Market? That's right. The rotisserie turkey has just 1 gram of fat per serving. A lot of your favorite Boston Market dishes are low in fat, including many of our mouth-watering sides, like our whole kernel corn, fresh fruit salad, steamed vegetables, and garlic dill new potatoes. So when you don't feel like cooking, let us do it for you. With delicious food you can really feel good about. We guarantee 100% satisfaction or your meals on us, only at Boston Market. I love Mervin's Super Sale. Can you tell? I save a bundle. I can stock up on towels and without missing a beat, save on great fashions for me. And with these savings, who can resist fine jewelry? It's like everything I need is on sale. Not like skimpy department store sales or discount stores where you have to dig for the deals. You haven't done a sale until you've done Mervin's Super Sale. And I'm not done yet. I'm going back for more. Right after all this is put away.
Don't miss Mervin's Super Sale through Sunday.
Our next matchup is Oregon taking on Penn State, and Nittany Lion fans can finally rejoice, as for once their big whiteout game isn't getting big nooned. Now, Penn State has been a popular pick to make the college football playoff championship game, and maybe even win it, pretty much going into the season. Quarterback Drew Aller is considered a high-round draft prospect and possibly a Heisman candidate, but to be honest, I think the better offensive players are running backs Keyshawn Allen and Nick Singleton. And I do think the defense has managed to step up again, even though they had a lot of losses last year. They've managed to reload just as quickly. Now, that is kind of the problem, though, with Penn State. Like I said, they're often a favorite to make the college football playoff, but then, they've just underachieved. They haven't beaten Ohio State in a number of years. They've struggled against the likes of Michigan. Yeah, they made a rally to the semifinals last year, but then they immediately lost to Notre Dame, a team they probably should have beaten. On kind of the same side of the coin, you have the Oregon Ducks, who once again have marched through the regular season so far, in an attempt to rectify their shocking playoff upset to Ohio State in the Rose Bowl last year. The offensive charge is led by quarterback Dante Moore, a 1-2 punch at running back with Mekhi Hughes and Noah Whittington. Wide receivers DeCorian Moore, Jurian Dickey, and Evan Stewart. About the only real question I'd say is the defense. It is yet to really be tested, unless you count the game they played at Northwestern at 11 o'clock in the morning. Now again, Penn State has this reputation for underachieving, so they really do kind of need that victory, but I think Oregon's just a little too loaded. Yes, this game's in State College. It's going to be a hell of an atmosphere. It's going to be exciting. It's probably going to turn into a big shootout, but ultimately I think the Ducks are going to win this one. I like Oregon here.
We all know granola's great tasting, but there's another side to it. Fat. But Kellogg's low-fat granola has half the fat and all those big clumps of great taste. Kellogg's low-fat granola. For today's granola fans, great taste, half the fat.
All the experience of yesterday, with all the skill and innovation of today, you couldn't lose. Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Carry the caring card.
I'm looking forward to the season like a slug looks forward to the rain. I'm talking about the NFL season. I'm talking about brawn and brain. Reggie White, Steve Young, Barry Foster, and players with much longer names. Yeah! I'm looking forward to the season, and especially the two-point conversion! I wrote that.
Our third matchup is the Louisville Cardinals taking on the Pitt Panthers. The ACC has definitely proven to be a bit more open conference than previously thought, with Clemson's struggles alongside the likes of SMU and UNC not living up to the hype. Yeah, there's still Miami and Florida State leading the charge, but just kind of underneath that, you have a Louisville, NC State, Georgia Tech looking to possibly kind of break their way on through and compete in the championship game. Now, Louisville is 3-0 on the season and seem to have finally unlocked the offense that stagnated during a lot of last year. That being said, again, their defense really hasn't been tested. They faced the likes of Eastern Kentucky, James Madison, and Bowling Green, which isn't really saying much. Offensively, the Cardinals are led at quarterback by USC transfer Miller Moss, as well as wide receivers Cullen Lacey and Chris Bell, but the real offensive firepower tends to be the running back Isaac Brown. Now, there has been a wrinkle recently added to this, as I believe ESPN has reported that Jeff Brom is being heavily rumored to replace Coach Gundy at Oklahoma State, so who knows how that might turn out. Again, Brom is from Louisville. He's an attendee, he's an alumni of Louisville is what I'm trying to say. And, like I said, I don't know if this is necessarily a dream job for him, but, he's familiar with the ACC. Like, it's obviously a more open conference than the Big 12 may even be right now. So, like I said, you don't have much firepower to deal with. Here, you could sneak in and maybe do something and make some noise. So, who knows? He could go for it if they can throw enough money, but you're never entirely sure. As for Pitt, well, the Panthers are kind of just middle of the road. They're 2-1 on the season, but that's two cupcake opponents in Duquesne and I believe Central Michigan, one of the Michigan schools in the MAC. And then their only real test has been West Virginia in the Backyard Brawl, which they lost. I can't remember if they had a lead or they rallied, but just kind of came up short in the end. Their main offensive weapon is running back Desmond Reed. They've got quarterback Eli Holstein and wide receiver Kenny Johnson, who are capable of playing good games when need to. Like I said, their big test was West Virginia, and they kind of came up short. The defense got steamrolled, I think, very early on. It just didn't look very good. And this game could turn into a real shootout, and I think the Cardinals' offense is just a little bit stronger. Again, I think they've got a bit more dependable quarterback. The game is in Pittsburgh, but overall, I think Louisville is the better team. I think this will be a close, exciting game, but overall, I do think the Cardinals are going to win.
Thanks, Bart. Plato says to share is to truly live. Yeah? Well, Bardo says eat my shorts.
Crispity, crunchity Butterfinger BBs from Nestle.
Well, I don't see that quote anywhere. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger BBs.
Hear about Willis and Kaspersky?
No.
Yeah, they got caught giving Willis's mother a ride to bingo in the back of the
You
squad.
told me that yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you do that?
No.
Real funny.
He's mischievous. And he's in a city full of tough bosses, mind-bending puzzles, and mutant vegetables. Jersey Devil.
Oh, get off of me!
JB, Terry, and Howie welcome special guest Jimmy Johnson back to the show for a special Week 1 appearance.
You don't know how it makes me feel.
Don't miss a reunion of the pregame team that started it all off. America's #1 pregame show returns Sunday.
All our NFL games this week are in the afternoon, so rather unique little piece there. And we're starting off with the most surprising team so far this season in the Indianapolis Colts as they take on the Los Angeles Rams. Like I said, the Colts are definitely the biggest surprise right now. Daniel Jones is playing lights out, as well as Jonathan Taylor running the ball. It's really helped Daniel Jones because the running game allows for play-action passes so that he can make some big plays and drop some Danny Dimes, if you catch my drift. That being said, the Rams are a much tougher opponent than the Colts have faced at all this year. I mean, again, their toughest opponent so far was probably Jacksonville in Week 2, and, even then, that was just Jacksonville. So, yeah, again, they're going to really need to step up and really show themselves here, as this is another real proving point. Now, the Rams have been playing really well up until the Eagles game, where they blew up a lead, giving up 20 unanswered points. And they had 2 occasions to really clinch that game, but 2 field goals got blocked that ultimately cost them. The passing numbers have been solid with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua stepping their games up, but I think, again, the real meat is in the running game. With Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, they're doing really well there. And the defense is putting up some really good numbers. They're really strong, except, of course, when they're playing the Eagles. But they're not really playing the Eagles this time. The Rams are a better overall team. They're playing at home. You're not going to have to really worry about the time change too much, so I'm thinking the Rams are going to win this one handily. Sorry, Colts fans, but I like Los Angeles here.
My dad taught me what it means to be a true fan. What it means to come out and give 110%. Right, Dad? Yeah! I'm more the quiet type. Oh, yeah! Well, the cold doesn't bother me so much. It's the chili dogs. Oh, that's why I bring out the Rolade.
Rolade starts to neutralize acid in less than 10 seconds, getting you back on your game fast.
It's just like Grandpa always says. You got to be your best out here.
Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief.
Mom doesn't make it out to the games. I don't know why.
Ever since yesterday, I can't stop thinking about you.
In any decade,
I want you.
there's nothing more special
I want you so bad.
than your first love.
Eric, it's a car.
From the creators of Third Rock from the Sun, That 70s Show, premiering Sunday, August 23rd.
This fall on Fox, the National Football League and United Way celebrate 25 years of working together to make a difference in communities across the nation. Join Troy Aikman, Jerry Rice, and Mark Chimera on the team that's always a winner. The NFL, the United Way, and you. The power of teamwork.
Up top, carrot head, simply red, it's your time to shine. Towhead, lemon drop, corn crop, it's your time to shine. Brown bombshell, raven hair, chocolate eclair, it's your time to shine. Pantene.
Take the time to shine. Take the time to shine.
Our next matchup is the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the San Francisco 49ers, and what really is the hardest game to try to pick this week. I mean, Jacksonville looked really strong in Week 1 and have been hit and miss ever since. Yeah, they did win over Houston, but that was after they blew a 10-point lead to the Texans and had to score a touchdown late. The offense has just been kind of spinning their wheels. Again, they looked really good against Carolina and then did nothing against Indianapolis and then did a little something against Houston. It's really been the Jaguars' defense that has been playing well. I mean, they've been doing everything right there. They've been getting sacks, causing turnovers. They are a real force on defense. Player-wise, again, the high draft pick of Travis Hunter doesn't seem to quite be panning out. I think at some point they're going to have to decide we're going to play him mainly on offense or mainly on defense. Trying to go both ways just isn't really working for him at the pro level. Now, the 49ers, they've also been hit and miss pretty much this whole season. They barely scraped by against both Seattle and Arizona, and yeah, they did beat New Orleans, but that game was a lot closer than a lot of people expected. And again, the injuries just keep piling up with them. George Kittle is injured, Brock Purdy is hurt, Nick Bosa is now out for the season. It's just a matter of time before Christian McCaffrey comes down with something. Again, I like Christian McCaffrey, but he's proven to be injury prone. Juwan Jennings is supposed to be coming back, but the offense is just stagnant right now. They really need a shot in the arm for something here. Now, the 49ers are undefeated and playing at home here. The defense is still really good, even with the injuries. I expect them to keep the Jags in check most of this game. I'm guessing San Francisco wins another squeaker here. It's not going to be a fun one, but yeah, I think San Francisco wins a close one.
The more power, the quicker the flash, the brighter the smiles. Introducing new Duracell Ultra with a concentrated power force to get more life out of your high-tech devices. New Duracell Ultra. More power, more life.
Some guys have all the look. Some guys get all the breaks. Some guys.
Play Pepsi Pop Culture. Just drink Pepsi or Mountain Dew. Match-winning phrases and win tons of cool prizes. From cash to trips. Even a new Jeep Wrangler. Pepsi Pop Culture. Drink, match, win. Arnold Wayne Moose Jr. of Midland, Michigan just instantly won a new Harley-Davidson. You could be next. So play.
This summer, the director of The Naked Gun takes aim.
Heads up, big guy.
At professional sports.
Go out there and make that shot, right?
Basketball.
No, Daddy, don't touch me there.
Rated R. Starts Friday.
Have you heard the news? KFC introduces new Extra Crispy Chicken. It's the crispiest, crunchiest KFC chicken yet. Freshly prepared, double dipped, and double breaded. For a double crunch. Come to KFC right now and you can get a bucket of 10 crispy, crunchy, crumbly pieces of Extra Crispy for only $8.99. Try new Extra Crispy Chicken. It'll start your meal off with a bang. Or at least a crunch. Isn't it time for some really crispy chicken?
Our final matchup is the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Denver Broncos in a game that obviously looked a lot more interesting when I selected it before the season started. Now, the Bengals are 2-1, but again, Joe Burrow is out until December with a toe injury. And the offense wasn't exactly playing that great before. They were struggling the whole time. They're turning the ball over a lot. The defense has really carried them the first 2 weeks of the season and was surprising, given that was their big question mark going into this. And it appears the Jake Browning burst of 2023 is not exactly happening this time around. Now, for the Broncos, you could argue that they really should be 3-0. Yeah, they won the first game of the season, and then they were done in by a bad ref call against the Colts on a field goal. And then the Chargers unchartered themselves and actually played well to win the game there. But again, Denver led most of that game, so they had a chance. Denver's defense is playing really good. They're not giving up a lot of points. They're holding teams in check. J.K. Dobbins is running the ball really well. It's just that Bo Nix has been underwhelming at quarterback. And overall, the Broncos are healthier and more talented right now. Their offense is underwhelming, but it's at least functional, unlike the Bengals. So I don't think this is going to be a real high-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be a particularly interesting game, but I think the Broncos will win. So yeah, Brandon Perna should at least be happy there. All right, we'll wrap things up after the break.
It's 1998. One teacher is living in fear.
My brother killed my sister.
How did he do that?
With a really big kitchen knife.
Now, the face of good and the face of evil will meet one last time. But this time, it's going to be a fight to the finish. Halloween H2O. Rated R. Wednesday, August 5th at a theater near you.
Do you have a love-hate relationship with dairy food?
I love you.
You love to eat it,
I miss you.
but hate the number it does on your stomach?
The cream.
Discover Lactate Ultra. It's not a medicine. It's a natural food supplement that makes dairy easy to
Come
digest.
to mama.
Take it with your first bite, and it'll help you avoid stomach discomfort before it starts, so you can enjoy every little bit of dairy. Lactate Ultra. Put dairy back in your life. For a free sample, call 1-888-ULTRA now.
Sorry. F1 World Grand Prix on Nintendo 64. You'll get carried away.
Every man wants Amanda.
This is the exact spot that I fell in love with you.
Except for the one who wants her dead.
You can't do this.
An all-new Melrose Place, Monday at 8, 7 Central.
Okay, so to wrap things up, I like Navy over Rice, Oregon over Penn State, and Louisville over Pitt. Then on the NFL side, I like the LA Rams over Indianapolis Colts, San Francisco over Jacksonville, and Denver over Cincinnati. So the next two videos are definitely going to be football picks. No wrestling to really cover. I thought about doing Wrestle Dream, but again, I just don't know if the finances are going to happen this time around. I'll try to see if I can do at least one more AEW show. I still have no idea what to do about WWE right now. From what I've heard, WrestlePalooza didn't stream very well on the ESPN app, so even if you were somehow able to see it, maybe it wasn't the best. Anyway, the games we're covering next week are Charlotte versus South Florida, Michigan State versus Nebraska, and Texas Tech versus Houston. Then on the NFL side, we have the New York Giants versus the New Orleans Saints, the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Jets, and the Tennessee Titans versus the Arizona Cardinals. For the week after that, we have South Carolina taking on LSU, Oklahoma taking on Texas in the Red River rivalry, and Ohio State and Illinois battle for the Illabuck Trophy. Then on the NFL side, we have the LA Rams taking on Baltimore, Detroit taking on Kansas City, and Buffalo taking on Atlanta. Again, I try to touch on every team at least once without doubling up or doing teams the consecutive weeks until it's absolutely necessary. And this basically eliminated... I had, I think, 8 teams left, and this is like 7 of them. So I think I've got one team left, which we'll be covering in Week 8, but we'll cover that when we get there. I will try to get some more of the complete games up on the Snorpo channel at some point. It's just, again, time got away from me, and hopefully I can rectify this soon. See you all next time. Hey guys, remember that you can support my work at patreon.com/sleepytime for cat productions, or just click the link in the description. Also, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you can be made aware of further videos.